that's just joined. So it's Robert Fuller here, lockdown live from Thixondale, and in the UK we're in lockdown. I know there's many people watching across the world, and they'll be in all sorts of different circumstances, but it's an absolutely beautiful day here today, and I'm just going to show you what the plan is with the Stoats today. So these have been hand reared from tiny little Stoat kits through to full adult size now, and we're going to release them today. So they've put in a release pen at the back, and then I've opened them up into a much larger area. A lot of it's underground. This is a badger cave that you'll see on camera behind me. There's a big hollow structure in here where you've seen them sort of feeding and playing. You know, this spreads over a really big area here. We've got a whole entrance hole about 30 metres that way. We've got a chamber 15 metres there. There's another chamber at the back, and the release pen's back in the bushes here. But look at this weather, fabulous day. So I'm going to open up these grills and then tie a bit of food down here and then watch them go. But if you want to look at some videos when they first had their tentative steps into this new area, it was quite an exciting moment. There was many people watching across the world, and this is their first sort of look out. They were trying to get over this piece of wire into like so when I go into these enclosures, there's a section that I go into, like in zoos. I close the door behind me before opening the next door. So they've been feeding them over into this section for almost a week. I know the way they consent that I've changed something, and they were really hesitant to go over. And eventually they went down into an underground tunnel, which was in a new sort of world of the badger set, which was really exciting. Here we go, there's one going in now. So I threw food down a tunnel there, and it's a big tunnel, this one. It takes a badger. So we had badgers in here last year. If you look at our YouTube videos, you'll see an amazing badger story that was set here. And this is exploring the badger cave here behind us. This is literally just underground here. I built this in mind for badgers, but I also put little tiny holes in there as well, and that hole is literally about that big, and it pops out here. So I've just blocked that for the time being. So when this all opens up, they're going to have great fun coming out here into the wild environment, and yeah, it's going to be so exciting to see. They might just go and disappear, but we're hoping with all the work that we've done, they stay around. Not 100% sure how our local Stoats are going to accept them. Bandita can be a bit feisty, but they probably will disperse over time. They won't stay in the garden, because Bandita rules this section of the garden and the whole valley even. But she's been a lot more chilled this year. There's still at least 2 or 3 of her youngsters hanging around. So the extra bit of food I put out has made her, over the years, possibly a little bit more relaxed. But usually by this time of year I've literally got Bandita living here and the odd male passing through. So it's quite often by now she's dispersed her young out into these stunning valleys and countryside we have around here. So this is the big moment. We're going to open up the grills here. So that's it. We've now got a way out for the Stoats here. I've been feeding close to this entrance hole deliberately, so they've got used to coming here for food. The next stage is either to keep feeding them around about here, or we start feeding them with some food just tied onto here, and then they can keep coming back to here. We're going to have a camera on here as well after this live event. I'm popping a camera on there, and we'll be able to see them. It might even be this evening, it might be this afternoon, where they start taking some adventures outside. So Is there any questions coming in?
There is questions. I'll grab some for you.
Easy ones then.
So the first one is just to explain Whisper and Stuart. I think people were asking and a bit confused by the name Stuart, so if you could give us a bit of detail on that.
Yeah, so we've got 2 female Stoats in here, and we've got Whisper, which I got in as a small kit from a dog walker. And then we've got Stuart, who was found in someone's garden. And Stuart was named by the people that found her, and Stuart then came in to us, and I told them that they'd named it Stuart, but it was a female, but the name kind of stuck, so I don't think she minds too much being called Stuart. It's a nice name, so yeah, Stuart's it's remained, and yeah, and it's their day to come out today.
So RJ from YouTube is asking, will they learn to hunt on instinct?
Yeah, I mean, Stoats and a lot of the mustelids are absolutely tuned to hunt. So they'll start hunting things like voles and mice. They'll be coming back here for food, but it's very much in the instinct of mustelids. You know, they have, you know, that's how they're wired. They're built to hunt and to catch prey.
That's really good. The next one, we had a question from Victoria B on YouTube asking if they will be able to stay here in the garden with Bandita, or do you think they will disperse?
I think over the next few weeks they'll probably disperse. It'd be nice if they do stay here and they all get along happily ever after, but it's a little bit like watching the owls. You know, predators have their territories, and whether it's the owls, the kestrels, or the stoats, they have a territory, and they have a territory to hold. So they will be released from here. I'm kind of hoping they stay around. Bandita's, she's 5 this next spring, so she's getting, you know, 7 is a really good age for a stoat, a really good age. So her reign will end one day, and maybe I get one of these guys back.
I'm just seeing if we've got any more questions coming in.
Yep. I'll get comfier.
We had
down on gravel here.
Use on YouTube was asking is there any chance
Just
that one of them...
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
As you've taken a seat.
For so long on gravel here, it's all these sharp bits of flint.
Use on YouTube is asking if there's any chance that one of them might be pregnant already.
Yes. So this is the thing about stoats, that they can actually be mated from 2 weeks old. It would be obviously illegal if it was humans, but this is very much how stoats operate. So young kits, tiny little young kits, can be mated by the males. So a male will court the female a week after she's given birth. We've actually managed to capture matings here a week after a stoat has given birth, and we haven't filmed the kits being mated because they were tucked away somewhere else, but this is part of stoats' life, so they have delayed implantation and can be mated from 2 weeks old, and these were about 4 weeks old when we got them in, so yeah, it's entirely possible.
We've got one question saying, when did you get your first stoat?
When did I get my first stoat? That's a question, isn't it? So yeah, I need to think about that one. So I've been hand rearing stoats and weasels, I think, for the last sort of 4 years, I would say it would be, since I started hand rearing them. I've always been sort of filming them in the garden, and then I started getting rehab ones in, and alongside Jean I've been helping her release them and hand rear them.
Great. Lady Dark Bunny on YouTube is asking, do badgers harass stoats?
No, badgers have no sort of need or desire to harass stoats, because they eat different things, simple as that. So there's more chance of a tawny owl harassing a stoat because they share the same food source. So badgers typically eat a lot of earthworms and a huge wide variety of food, from cereals, slugs, young rabbits. They will eat young rabbits, which is the same things, and they will eat some voles if they can get them, but in general they're not bothered by each other.
So Miss M on YouTube is asking about Chester, and if you have any ideas that you might release him.
Yeah, so we're going to get these guys out, and then the next phase is releasing Chester. I don't want to release them both exactly at the same time because stoats can predate weasels with them being smaller, and they do compete with each other for prey. So yeah, there can be some tension in between stoats and weasels, and we don't want him to lose, but he'll be going out the next sort of good spell of weather we have in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully he'll be released. And to touch back on the badgers and stoats, so there's a hierarchy with all predators. So if we had great horned owls around here, Bomber would be probably dinner. He wouldn't be the bully. You'd have the great horned owl as the bully. So it's the same with the mustelids, with the stoats, the weasels. Weasels are at the bottom, so stoats might predate weasels. But then if you have pine martens, which we don't have around here, they would predate stoats and weasels, and so it goes on. The bigger the prey animal, if they're sharing the same food source, there's always going to be fireworks.
Martin Stead is asking, do you prefer painting owls or stoats?
Oh, God, how could you compare the two? I would say owls are possibly easier, and I've painted more owls than stoats, but I enjoy doing both. I don't have it. If I did one thing too much, I would want to do something else, you see. So I paint and study a wide variety of animals.
We have a question from Madeline Andrew on Facebook, who's asking, how is Ron?
Ron's good. Yeah, he's growing well, he's eating well. He's just fairly quiet. I haven't handled him too much, so the only times I've handled him is when he came in and when I've been showing you guys. So Ron will become a little bit wild, and it will become too difficult for me to handle him and show you as he grows, but we will be able to keep you up to date, as you know, with cameras, with his progression.
Chris B on YouTube is asking, are pine martens related to stoats and weasels?
Yes, yeah. So part of the mustelid family. So we've got weasels as the smallest in the UK. Then we have stoats, polecats, pine martens, and you know there's so many. You've got all the 7 different types of badgers, all the different types of otters across the world. So the sort of you know, the weasel family is huge and varied. You know, you've got wolverines, so you've got big, powerful badgers and wolverines down to the smallest predator in the world, which is the weasel.
Wonderful. Well, that's all of the questions that we've had in so far, so I think we're good to wrap up when you're ready.
Yeah, so thanks for joining me, and don't know what the weather's going to be like tomorrow, but we'll be back inside, back in the gallery this time, because a lot of you maybe haven't seen the gallery, and I'll be explaining a little bit about a really special bird, a peregrine falcon that I've been following for years, and that's over in that direction in Hull on a chemical park, which is virtually like it was a power station originally, but it's got a fascinating story behind that. It's literally 350 acres of steel, concrete, steam. It's just very, very different from being up here, and I love going there. Thanks for joining us then.